Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope your day is going well. I hope you're making a dent in your TBR stacks, and I'm manifesting that your next read will be a new favorite. Today I'm going to be dragging some of you through the mud. I'm going to be perceiving some of you. I'm going to be roasting and toasting you based off your favorite books. If only I was actually good at roasting. Before we get to it though, today's video has a sponsor. Today's video is being sponsored by Book of the Month, one of my favorite book subscription services, and if you don't know anything about Book of the Month, let me fill you in. Each month, Book of the Month puts out a new selection of books that have been vetted from a very long list of books. Their selections always provide a variety when it comes to genres, and they always make sure not to just highlight popular authors, but also new and upcoming authors as well. Which is something that I really appreciate about Book of the Month. They're not only here to highlight popular book releases, they're also here to bring you new books that you might not have heard of before. Sometimes you might get popular releases amongst their selections, but you'll also get some books that deserve more hype. Book of the Month is a nice way to bring in fresh new books because they offer up such a nice variety of authors and genres. You can get your first book for only $9.99 by using my code Jesse. Most hardback books these days can be anywhere from $20 to $40, and it's nice to have a service like this that offers up books at an affordable price. They also have a skip option where you can skip a month and you won't be charged. Let's go over the books that I picked out this month. First up here, we've got Wayward. I picked this one up because of two reasons. One, because the description sounds right up my alley, and two, because this cover is beautiful. Are you kidding? Stunning! This weaves three stories of three women over three different time periods. I live for stories that weave things together like this. This book is already setting up to be a win for me. Then, in the iconic Book of the Month blue box, we got And the Adventures of Almina Al-Serafa. This comes from the author who wrote City of Brass. I've not yet read that series. I want to. It's on my list. But this one sounded so good. This kicks off a new trilogy of pirates and sorcerers, forbidden artifacts, and ancient mysteries. I mean, come on. I know that doesn't give you too much detail, but like, that alone, I'm ready. I'm ready to be hooked on this. I'm so excited for this one. I'll have a link down below in the description for more information on Book of the Month, and again, you can use the code Jesse to get your first book for only $9.99. Now back to the video. Today, I'm going to be going over the things that I feel like your favorite books say about you. I went over on my Instagram, at jessethereader if you want to follow me. Look how pretty my feed is. I posted a story and asked you guys to submit your favorite books. And today I'm going to be sharing what I think your favorite book says about your personality type, your interests, or just the way you carry yourself in life. I think that our favorite books say a lot about us. I know for a fact that a lot of my favorite books say a lot about me. They are a little bit too revealing about me. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I should gatekeep these books because it's showing too much of who I am as a human being. But then I remembered that I signed up for oversharing everything there is about my reading life on the internet. So I thrust it into the internet void. I don't know what's worse, the fact that I just used the word thrust or the fact that I actually thrust it. Anyway, let's get started. First up, we've got The Shadow of the Fox. I rarely see people calling this their favorite book, so you're already a top tier human in my mind. I'm gonna say you might be an anime fan because this book feels like an anime. More specifically, it feels like Inuyasha. It gives off intense Inuyasha vibes. Like, intense. If you know, you know. One of our main characters in here is a human and magical fox hybrid. It's giving Chapeau. You're either a very wild and free kind of person, or you prefer structure. Both of the characters are different in that way. One is free as a bee, and the other is one that sticks to the plan. Mythology or folklore might be something that interests you because that is definitely present within this story. And you enjoy the process of a journey, not one that's necessarily from point A to point B, but you like the little side quests that can come along with it. Next, we've got Everyone's an Alien when you're an Alien too, or Everyone's an Alien when you're an Alien too. However you pronounce the Alien. Alien. Is the B silent? Is it not silent? I prefer Alien. It's more fun to say that way anyway. One of my favorites, so we'd probably be besties if we ever met up. This honestly tells me that you are a very reflective person. You might be a bit of an overthinker, which, hello, relatable, it's me. But you like to pause and digest the things that you've been through. You might be somebody who has been through a lot in life, and instead of falling into a dark place because of those things, you've pushed yourself to grow and you're able to help other people because of that. You might be someone who loves learning, and not necessarily in like an academic setting, but you love exploring the world, you love being in nature, you love learning about other people that are surrounding you and the things that they've experienced and matching your own experiences with theirs. I'm also just getting the vibe that you're probably just a really good person. If you love this book, if it's one of your favorites, you're probably a good person. Just saying. Next, we've got The Perks of Being a Wallflower. You're a soft little bean that needs to be protected at all costs. I'm going to say that you might be the type of person that has had a hard time finding their footing in life, but eventually you found yourself in this flow that works for you. You might have been socially awkward at some point in your life, or you're still socially awkward, which is okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's okay to be socially awkward. You're also 100% a wallflower, which might be a cop-out because wallflower is in the title, but sometimes the titles of our favorite books call us out. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I'm a peculiar child. Call out. You're the type of person to go to a party and just spend the whole evening observing people, not in a creepy kind of way, but you just like observe people and take them in. You see the beauty in a lot of things, you see the beauty in a lot of people, and you want the people that you're observing to know just how special you think that they are, but you just have a hard time communicating that. Next up, we've got The Little Prince. This book has my whole heart. I genuinely need to give this a reread because I forget how much I love it. Like, it's that good of a book. I did not know it would come into my life and wreck it in the best way possible. I'm gonna say that you're probably somebody who is not afraid of the journey of life. Difficult questions don't scare you. Can't relate? I'd be over here stumbling over simple questions. Somebody will ask me like, how are you? And I'll be like, ask me a hard question and I will have a stroke. You live a life of reflection and you are eagerly searching for like the meaning of life. I could see you being the type of person that likes going to museums and getting lost in thought, or taking a walk in the park and just trying to find meaning in everything. Like a leaf will fall off a tree and you'll be like, there's meaning here. I must find the meaning. Next, we've got The Ocean at the End of the Lane. Ooh, I feel like this one's gonna be kind of hard, actually. I'd say you're the type of person that likes an unexpected path, one that will surprise you. I'm gonna assume that you're the type of person to really enjoy modern fairy tales, because I feel like this is a story that definitely evolves into that over time. You enjoy reflecting on your childhood, but sometimes it feels distorted looking back, and that might be because the things that you've been through have kind of tainted the image of your childhood, kind of taken away the innocence and the magical feeling of being a child. And there might be a part of you that's attached to wanting to go back to who you once were at one point in your life, despite the fact that you are an entirely different person today. You might have gone through a lot as a kid, and you might still be unpacking everything that you went through today. Next, we've got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Addie, 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 Addie. Ooh, okay. I feel like you might be the type of person that makes sacrifices for the life that you want. Sometimes the dreams that we have for ourselves, we have to make a lot of sacrifices for, and you're willing to make those sacrifices. It doesn't mean that those sacrifices are easy for you necessarily, but you're willing to make them to get what you want in life. Basically, whatever it takes. It takes. You're also someone who wants to leave your mark on the world in some capacity, and you don't want to be forgotten. Next, we've got a man called Uwe. Old people make you cry. Is that a bad way of summing it up? Maybe. But you see an old person out in public, whether that be them getting their groceries, sitting at a cafe, sipping their coffee, an old person walking down the street, and you just get emotional. Like, you're just sensitive to old people. You're the type of person to recognize the fact that everybody has been on a journey in life, and everyone has a reason for being the way that they are. And you enjoy dissecting that, and even if somebody is a terrible person, you will always try to find the good in somebody. Someone might be super grumpy, and instead of being affected by that, you recognize the fact that there is something internally going on with that person, rather than like judging them super harshly for being super grumpy and rude. You don't hold things like that against people. You're able to like separate yourself from the situation. You also might be the type of person who's not afraid of having people in your life who are challenging, because again, you know that everyone has layers, everybody has lots of chapters to their stories and reasons for why they are the way that they are. You're not afraid to feel things. In fact, you might enjoy books that bring on the pain. You strongly value your romantic relationship, and you just can't imagine your life without your lover. This is reminding me of how painful this book is. It's beautiful, but it's painful. My heart. My heart. Next, we've got Daisy Jones and the Six. This might be cliche, but you might enjoy the 70s, that kind of era in time. You maybe have romanticized the idea of being in a band at one point, or you still have that like itch inside of you to be in a band. You might be a music lover, a musician, a songwriter. Those are the vibes I get. And you also really, really, really like character-driven stories. Really, really, really. Next up here, we've got The Raven Boys. I'd say you like the idea of an unconventional life. You're all about the road less taken. I feel like you're the type of person to love spontaneous adventures. I'd say you're probably a misfit in some kind of way, or you surround yourself with misfits. You're not the type to necessarily be like outright not like everybody else, or to be like, I'm not like everybody else, but like it comes naturally for you. Like you just are not like everybody else. It's not something that you're like constantly bringing attention to. You're not like, I read classics and I'm so different, or like, I wear sandals during winter time, I'm so unique, or you're like, I only read the dialogue in books, I skip everything else. You're not really trying to bring attention to the fact that you're different. It just kind of like happens naturally. Like you just do things to the beat of your own drum, and typically those things are unique. And to that I say slay, keep on keeping on, babes. Next we've got Kafka on the Shore. You're really weird. I think you're the type of person that likes variety. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You want your hands in multiple jars. And I say that because there's a lot going on in this book. I feel like this is a type of book that just like serves a lot of variety. I would say you're into weird things, but not in a bad way. Like don't take it as a bad thing. It's not bad. I feel like there's just no way to say that in a way that hits right. But you gravitate towards unique things that are not of typical nature. I'd say you're the type of person that likes an onion style book. And by that, I mean you like a story that has layers on layers on layers. Sometimes things might not click right away with you, like you'll go through an experience and it won't click right away, like its importance, until later on down the line. I feel like that's the experience that I had with this book. Like I read it and I didn't really understand its impact until later on. I kind of like processed it more, and even after I reread it, I'm still like processing things that went down in this book, and like I'm still unraveling what they mean and understanding them better. This is years after having reread it too, so you might be the type of person that like really enjoys that processing time after a book though. Like you bask in the glory of processing the themes, the characters, the plot, and how they were all mixed together to make this grand story. Next we've got The Love Hypothesis. I unhauled this book because I didn't like it. I'm sorry. This one's gonna be kind of hard. I feel like you might be the type of person who is attracted to people who put up this front that they're like super angsty, but behind closed doors they're the type of person that has a lot of depth. But you're attracted to their angsty side, but you're also attracted to kind of that side that nobody really gets to see. You either have a quirky personality or you're drawn to people who have a quirky personality. You might be a woman in STEM, or you just have a lot of respect for women who are in STEM. Or you just might love stories that take place in kind of that like academic setting. Maybe you're a student, or you like reflecting back on your time in university, which to that I say can't relate at all. To each their own. Maybe you're afraid of needles. If you know, you know. Next up, we've got A Little Life. I got rid of A Little Life. I didn't even finish A Little Life, but like I feel like I understand A Little Life. Maybe not though. We'll see. I'm gonna say you enjoy pain. You love having your heart ripped apart. Not necessarily that you actively enjoy like reaching for books that will tear you to shreds, books that are going to destroy your world, but you love when books just come into your life and affect you in such unexpected ways. Like if a book has you crying actual tears of pain, that's automatically the sign of a good book to you. Maybe you love the idea of living in New York, or you want to visit New York at some point in your life, and you romanticize this kind of like found family friend group that will stick with you no matter what. This is a friend group with varying types of people too. You might have a lot of differences, but you also relate to each other because of your shared experiences. You also might be somebody who has just been through a lot in life, and it's important for you to read books where the characters are going through a lot because you can relate to that, and it like brings you comfort knowing that other people have gone through a lot. Again, I haven't fully read this book, so I could be really off here, but that's just the vibe I'm catching. Next up, we've got The Miracles of the Namiya General Store. I rarely ever meet a person that has this as their favorite book, and it's one of my favorites, so like, bestie? I'm probably biased because it's one of my faves, but I just think you're probably a superior human. Because you love this book, I feel like you might have an appreciation for the small things in life. Little things just make you happy, or you're able to like see the good in almost every situation. You love when different stories connect and affect each other. I'd say you're probably the type of person who believes that everything happens for a reason. And you love the fact that people can just like come into your life at any point and just impact it. And you're open to the change that people can bring. You also might be really good at giving advice. In fact, you might be the type of person that like loves when people come to you and ask for advice. You're probably the type of person who is always open to helping other people, no matter what. And you walk a path of kindness. That's the vibe I'm catching here. Next up here, I've got 1984, the book that I always call 1989. Thank you so much, Taylor Swift. This is telling me that you are an intellectual being, and not just because it's a classic book, but because of the content of this book and the things that it covers. Like, I just imagine that you're probably a very intellectual person. You love thinking about things within our society through a critical lens. You might be overly sus of the things that are happening in the world, and sometimes rightfully so. You try your best not to fall for the standards that society puts on people. Last one here, we've got A Monster Calls. Ouch, it still hurts. My heart. Why did my voice get all creepy like that? You might be someone who has been strongly affected by death. It sort of came into your life and created a rift, and you had to deal with the monster that came with it. And it might have taken you a while to unpack your journey of grief, but at some point you found acceptance, accepting the fact that you will still always feel something when it comes to that particular death in your life, but you understand how to handle it a little bit better now. Dunzo! That's what I think some of your favorite books say about some of you. If any of the books that I mentioned were any of your favorites, let me know if I like got it right or if I'm like really far off. I probably nailed a few and butchered a few, but if any of these books are your favorite, let me know how I did. Do I understand you like I think I do, or am I so off? Either way, this was a lot of fun to do because it gives you a chance to kind of reflect on these books that you've read and like really think about the type of person that might have that book as their favorite. It was just really nice to kind of reflect on these books that I've read in the past. Also, let me know down below in the comments one of your favorite books, and let me know what you think it kind of says about you as a person. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye. Gosh, these roses are gonna drive me binoculars. They're gonna drive me binoculars. They're gonna drive me crazy. I keep like bumping into them. I'm gonna assume you're the type of person that really enjoys modern fairy tales. I bring the pain like this, that, pink venom, this, that, pink venom, this, that, pink venom. Get 'em, get 'em, get 'em. Straight to your dome like whoa, whoa, whoa. Straight to your dome like ah, ah, ah.